Hey, swimmers, welcome back to the Dryland series. To our new swimmers, I'd like to welcome you. We're going to do our Dryland warm up, a core workout, an upper body workout, a lower body workout, followed by a static stretch. First things first, we're going to do a march with arm swings for 30 seconds. Here we go. Really try and swing your arms. The whole idea is to loosen up. This is a dynamic stretch. Next thing is going to be a lateral shuffle with a reach, but we're going to modify that a little bit for the people that have a little bit of limited space, just in case you're working in a small living room or you're still in TLF transferring in from somewhere else. So we're going to go side to side with a little stretch. 30 seconds. Just make sure you get a good stretch. Okay, good job, guys. Next thing we're going to do is some high knees. We're just going to really focus on the actual stretch. Again, this is a dynamic stretch. Go ahead and get a good stretch going. Okay, good job, guys. Next thing we're going to do is some butt kicks with some arm circles. So again, this is all about the stretch. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're getting good movement here. Okay, a butt kick is just simply where we're going to bring our feet up to our bottom as high as we can. It's going to stretch the very front of our quads while still doing some arm circles. 30 seconds, start with me now. Okay, great job. Next thing we're going to do is a walking lunge and a torso rotation. You can modify this if you need to by just walking forward in a standing lunge like this and then doing your twist. If you need to walk into it, I'm going to back up so you can kind of see what that looks like in a walking movement. Here we go. Okay, great job, swimmers. Next thing we're going to do is an inchworm into a plank. So we're going to stand up like this. They're also called walkouts. Great job, guys. Next thing's going to be some leg swings. We're going to move our leg backwards behind us and then forward and across our body. Both legs will go about 15 seconds each. Okay, great job. Next thing's going to be torso rotations. This one's pretty easy. Just find your middle line, and we're going to twist all the way to the left and all the way to the right until we get a good stretch. Here we go. Great job. The next thing is going to be scapular arm circles, which really just kind of looks like we're shrugging our shoulders in a circular motion. We'll go 15 to the front and 15 to the rear. Here we go. Great job, swimmers. The next one's a classic. This is called jumping jacks. We're going to stand in a straight form like this. We'll jump with our legs out while moving our hands from the side position to the up position like this. We'll go ahead and do 20 of those together. Here we go. Great job. Now that we've finished our dynamic warm up, we're going to move into our core exercises. This next one is called a dead bug. So we're going to lay on our back. If you have a mat or a soft carpet, it does make this a lot easier. So I'm going to be using a mat today. Dead bugs are pretty easy to explain. All you do is lay on your back. You're going to put your arms and your hands straight up like this, and you're going to move the opposite arm and the opposite leg out in a motion like this. Great job, guys. Next thing we're going to do is a plank into a downward dog. That's very similar to what we were doing earlier with the walkouts. So we'll go in a front leaning rest push up position, which is just the push up position. And then we're going to go ahead and kick our hips up and back, kind of like a downward dog stretching their back. Here we go. Great job, team. The next thing we're going to do is called flutter kicks. There's a couple of different variations you can do. For this one, we're going to start with an easier one. If you're in our older swimmers group and you've been doing these for a while, feel free to put your hands out to your side instead of under your hips to do the flutter kicks. Here we go. Okay, great job, team. Next thing we're going to do is called a bird dog. This is just like the dead bug, except we're going to be standing on our hands and our feet, and we're going to be kicking that opposite arm and opposite leg out, kind of like a dog pointing, like a bird dog. Here we go, team. Try and keep up with me. Great job, team. Next thing we're going to do together is going to be a side plank on our right side. So we're going to be holding ourselves up with our right hand and reaching with our left hand straight up towards the sky. Here we go. All right, team, we're going to go ahead and switch sides. So we're going to put that left hand down and put that right hand up, reaching towards the sky. Here we go. Excellent job, swimmers. Are you staying with me? If you need to pause the video and get a drink, please do so. Don't wear yourself out too bad. I'm going to go straight into our next thing. This is called a Superman swimmer. So, what we're going to do is we're going to lay on our stomach. We're going to put our feet and our arms in the air, and we're going to kind of be reaching from the front like Superman, back behind our back like we're trying to reach towards our waistband. Stay with me. Here we go. Okay, great job, team. Next thing we're going to do is a bear crawl. You can also do a static bear crawl stance if you don't have enough room to actually do a bear crawl. I'll go ahead and demonstrate both. That way you can make the choice on what you want to do. We'll do this between 20 and 30 seconds. Here we go. Great job, everybody. We're going to go into our upper body, which is going to be a harder section. Try and stay with me here. Our first thing is going to be a push up with a shoulder tap at the end, and we'll alternate sides. Here we go. Great job, everybody. The next thing is going to be a YTW. So we're going to be laying down on the ground. We're going to make a Y shape with our arms, a T shape with our arms, and a W shape with our arms. The goal of this is to go ahead and stretch out those shoulders, make sure we're ready to swim in the pool. Here we go. Great job, everybody. The next thing we're going to do is a plank with shoulder taps. So kind of like our push-ups with the shoulder taps, except this time we're just going to be stationary in the upright position, tapping our shoulders. Here we go. Great job. Okay, next thing we're going to do is called reverse snow angels. So kind of like that Superman pose we were doing earlier, we're going to keep our body in a streamlined pose, this time with our head down, up against the ground or the mat or the carpet. And we're just going to move our hands from streamlined to behind our backs. All right, stay with me, everybody. Here we go. Great job, everybody. So the next thing we're going to do is pretty easy. These are just arm circles. We'll do about 20 to the front and then 20 to the rear. Here we go. Fantastic job, team. The next thing we're going to start doing is lower body movements. These are going to be a little more difficult, so try and stay with me. The first thing is going to be a squat into a calf raise. I'll do this from a couple different angles. That way you can kind of see what we're supposed to be doing here. Stay with me. Here we go. Great job. Earlier we did some lunges with some torso twists. This is going to be the same thing, except we're just going to be doing the lunge part. Here we go. Great job, team. Next thing we're going to do is called skater steps. So it's kind of like you're skating on some rollerblades. We're going to go to our left and then to our right. Biggest step you can take. Let's get a good workout. Here we go. Great job, team. Next thing we're going to do is a glute bridge march. So you will need your mat or your carpet for this one. This one's pretty easy. We're going to lay flat on our back and we're going to push our hips up while bringing one leg up. Here we go. Great job, team. Next thing we're going to do, we do in practice, it's just a good old fashioned wall sit. So you're going to find the nearest wall you can, and you're going to slide yourself down into a seated position and try and hold yourself up. If you can't find a wall, you can do a down position for a squat and hold that static. Here we go. Great job, team. That's a hard one. Okay, this next drill is just called fast feet. So we're going to move our feet up and down as fast as we can. This is just going to work with our reaction speed. This will help us kick and pull. Here we go. Great job, team. We're going to go into our static cool down. This first one is called a cross body shoulder stretch. Here we go. Get a good deep squeeze on all these stretches. This is the end of our workout, so we want good quality stretches. Let's go ahead and switch arms to that other shoulder. Okay, this next one's called a tricep lat stretch. We're going to bring our arm up and over our head like this, and then you're going to use the opposite arm to pull on the elbow and stretch away from that rib cage. Here we go. Okay, team, let's go ahead and switch arms to that other side. Here we go. Great job, team. Stick with me. We're almost done. The next thing's going to be a quad stretch. This one's pretty easy. We're just going to grab one of our legs and we're going to pull it back and stretch our quad. That's the front upper part of your leg, just above your knee, in between your hips and your knees. That is your quad. So we'll try and get that stretched out. Here we go. Good job, team. Let's switch sides. If you're like me and you struggle to balance a little bit, it's always very helpful to put the opposite hand that you're not using on your stomach, right in the middle of your chest, just above your stomach, in between your chest and your stomach. That'll help you stay in line and balanced. Here we go. Great job, team. The next thing we're going to do is just a simple hamstring stretch. I prefer to do this sitting down. All we're going to do is sit down flat on our bottom and try and reach for our toes as best we can. If you can reach your toes, more power to you. Go ahead and pull back on those jokers and try and get as much of a stretch back here on the back part above your knee, between your hips and your knee, that back long part of your leg. Okay, here we go. Great job, team. The next stretch is going to be a figure four glute stretch. So we're going to be stretching the back upper part behind our hips, just our bottom. For this, you're going to lay down flat. You're going to bring your leg across like this. And if you can get a good stretch, you'll reach up in between and you'll pull back on this bottom leg that you'll see will go straight up in the air, kind of like making a four with your legs. And we'll switch sides and do the other one in just a moment. Stick with me. Here we go. Great job, team. We're going to switch sides. Go ahead and put that leg across, just like you're folding your legs. We're going to reach our arm down in between and grab just behind the knee on the leg that's going to go straight up in the air like a four. Here we go. Great job, team. The last thing is going to be our calf stretch and then a child's pose with some deep breathing. And then I have one exercise for you at the end of this video. So the first thing is going to be our calf stretch. If you can find something to lean on, that's even better. I'm going to try and choose this wall over here. Hopefully you can still see me. Okay, so the important part of this stretch is that we're going to go ahead and bend our leg, and we want to try and stretch the back part of our calf. We'll go ahead and switch sides. Really get a good stretch on that front leg that's facing there, and then as you squat down, it'll move from stretching the top down to the bottom right there. You got two different major muscle groups in your calf, and that's going to help both. Last thing we're going to do is just going to be a child's pose, which is just kind of a relaxing full body stretch with some deep breathing. Here we go. Great job, team. The last assignment I have is going to be an exercise, and I need you to comment on the video to let me know that you've completed the task. We're going to practice our underwater breath holds, but you can do that at home without the water. So you're just going to take a few deep breaths, get your lungs ready, and pretend like you're going underwater in the pool. And I want you to hold your breath for as long as you can. This will build up some stamina and help you out in the pool in the future days. Go ahead and do this exercise, and then comment with how long your breath hold was. Thanks for tuning into this series of Dryland. 1, 2, 3, Barracudas.